بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. We continue our discussion about mafhum al-shart, the implicit meaning for a conditional sentence. As you remember, we said there are 4 requirements for accepting mafhum al-shart. There must be first a subject that regardless condition is there or not, that subject exists. If without condition no subject remain to talk about, it has no mafhum. Like en ruzaqta waladan fakhtenhu. The second condition was it must be with relation, a kind of, necessary relation, not accidental, not ittifaqi. It has to be relational. The third was it has to be illi, causal. And the fourth was that cause has to be exclusive, so that we can say, if this cause does not exist, the effect also does not exist. But if there is no causality, or if there is causality, but there can be alternative cause, so from absence of one cause, you cannot understand that effect is not there. Because maybe there is alternative cause. For example, if there is no electricity, there is no heat, but you cannot say there is no heat unless your assumption was that electricity is the only source. So if you say, if there is electricity, there is heat. If there is no electricity, there is no heat. This can only work if the assumption is that electricity is the only source for heat. Otherwise, we can have sunshine. So even aliyah is not enough. It has to be munhasara, exclusive. Okay? We talked about this. So we said those who believe in mafhum al-shart have to prove all 4 requirements. Even if one of them is missing, there is no mafhum al-shart. Okay? And then we said either someone says that al-wad', designation of this type of sentence for the meaning which is conditional implies these 4. So this is dalalatun wad'iyyah, by designation, or bil insaraf or bil itlaq. Designation we discussed. Al-insaraf, which means that without any evidence, mind goes quickly to this meaning. This also we discussed. We reached al-itlaq. End of page 95. Itlaq, as you remember in the previous book, and inshallah we will discuss it further, is when there is nothing linguistic that give you this meaning. But by using muqaddamatul hikmah, prerequisites of wisdom, you come to this conclusion. So those who believe that exclusiveness can be understood by itlaq, they should be able to support this fact or this claim. Maybe it's not a fact. This claim that when someone makes a conditional sentence, says if P then Q, and he is trying to explain what is needed, P has to be exclusive cause. Otherwise, he would not leave it as it is. He would bring a modifier. But to be honest, it's very difficult to hold such a position, to say that it has to be exclusive, otherwise he has to bring modifier. Maybe causality is acceptable, but to be exclusive is not something that you can understand from itlaq. Please look at the text. أما إثبات الانحصار بالإطلاق, to prove exclusiveness of what? Causality, the fourth condition. To prove that exclusiveness with itlaq, the fact that no modifier has been mentioned, while the speaker is intending to explain everything needed for practice. You remember maqamul bayan, means he intends to mention whatever is needed. Because if mutakallim is not in maqamul bayan, is not in the context of explaining himself, then you cannot use itlaq. Okay? For example, maybe there is taqiyya, so he doesn't want to mention more details. Or maybe he just wants to give you the basic idea, not the details. You know, many times the parliament passes a law and details are decided in the government. So here, itlaq has no hujjah, because you have to wait for the details to come. You cannot say we use the itlaq of the law, because that law was not meant to give you all the details. Okay?
What does itlaq actually mean? These details?
Itlaq means when something is mentioned without modifier, opposite to taqyid. Sometimes it means to be absolute, but it doesn't mean to be absolute. It means not be modified. Or for example, there is ayah about those animals which are hunted by trained dogs. You know, kilab mu'allama, not mu'allim, mu'allam, means they are trained. Yeah. So there are dogs that are trained. Yeah. They use them for hunting. There is a question, if this dog, for example, takes a bird, and the bird is killed because of dog hunting the bird, do we accept this as halal, or because there was no slaughter, it was not slaughtered, it's not halal? Quran says, "Kulu mimma amsakna halalan tayyiba." Okay? Of course, you go to your marja. We are talking just a scholarly discussion, not because for fatwa you have to go deeper. But just based on this. The Quran says you can eat from this, is halal. Okay. Can you say it means that you don't need to wash it? Because it's halal and eat? No. You see, the ayah is not intending to explain this side. It's not في مقام البيان للطهارة والنجاسة. It's في مقام البيان للحلية أو عدم الحلية. You understand? So sometimes the speaker is not intending to give all the details, or is talking about one side, not from another side.
So would the word specific go for the itlaq specific?
So someone says, for example, Allah didn't say it is halal after you wash. So I assume that it means it's halal anyway. We say no. It is true that Allah didn't bring modifier. But because he was not intending to talk about tahara or najasa, the concern was something else. For example, if someone asks me, is it halal to eat, for example, cheese? I say yes. Then he takes someone else's cheese and eats. I said I was not explaining that side. I was talking that as a kind of food, this is fine. I was not talking about ownership. You understand? So mutakallim should be intending to explain something, but he has not brought modifier and he was able to bring it. These are muqaddamatul hikmah. If he was intending to say the details, and he was able also, because sometimes he intends but he's not able. There's taqiyya. He intends and he's able, but still has not brought the modifier. So here we can say he meant mutlaq. Okay? Inshallah we'll talk about it later more. You know, the advantage of studying a subject in different levels is this. Because you had already studied Usul before, so you have some idea, which helps you. But later we will have more explanation. But if you didn't have that basic information, now it was very difficult. Yeah? So this is why we study a subject in different levels. So, إثبات الانحصار بالإطلاق وهو كون المتكلم في مقام البيان, and that is when the speaker is intending to express whatever is needed for practice. يتصور على وجهين. This can be conceived in two ways. تارة يكون في مقام بيان خصوصيات نفس السبب الوارد في الجملة الشرطية. Sometimes the speaker is intending to explain details. خصوصيات means characteristics, details of the same cause which has come in the conditional sentence. وَمَا لَهُ مِنْ جُزْءٍ وَشَرْطٍ وَمَانِعٍ, and whatever part or condition or obstacle it has, without trying to explain if there is an alternative cause or not. You understand? So, for this cause, he wants to explain everything. But he is not intending to say whether there can be another cause also, or it is exclusive. من دون نظر إلى وجود سبب آخر. Regardless, من دون النظر means he doesn't intend, he doesn't, have that in his mind. Regardless of existence of another cause. وأخرى, but sometimes, so تارة means sometimes, yeah. أخرى means تارة أخرى. Another time, the speaker is trying to explain ما هو المؤثر في الجزاء, what has an impact or what bears on jaza, the conditional. You remember jaza and shart. Shart is condition, jaza is conditional. What depends on shart? فعلى الأول, according to the first possibility, يكون مقتضى الإطلاق أن ما جاء بعد حرف الشرط هو تمام الموضوع وليس له جزء أو شرط آخر ولا يتفرع عليه المفهوم. According to the first possibility, it wants to explain everything, parts, condition, obstacles of that. But there is no mafhum for that. Why? Because it's not showing exclusiveness. The maximum it can say is that whenever this condition is there, you have jaza. You can use the itlaq for this condition. Say, if there was any other condition required for this condition, any, for example, part was required, should have been mentioned. So this is a whole package. If there is no reason to suggest that there must be other parts or conditions, we can say we use itlaq. But to say there is no another package, no alternative package, no other cause, it's not understandable from this. Because this doesn't show exclusiveness. This shows that this is a complete package, complete condition. But there is no other condition that can replace this? No. I think it's very easy, yeah?
Just if you don't mind repeating the premises that you're trying to
Yeah. You know, from outside is easy, maybe the text is a bit difficult. We say if P, then Q. When P is mentioned and you have doubt, maybe there were other things that had to be mentioned, like other parts, like some conditions to observe, some obstacles that should be absent. So you have doubt. Is it enough to have this much which has been said, or maybe other things were also needed to be mentioned? If your doubt is like this, we say, okay, muqaddamatul hikmah is enough to say that whenever this much happens, it's enough. Because if the speaker wanted something more to be observed, he should have mentioned. So this much is mutlaq. But to say, is there any other alternative shart, alternative condition that can replace this altogether? Yes, it's possible. Because he didn't say, this is the only way that this can happen. He said, this is one way, or this is a way, but maybe there is other way. Okay? So for example, we said, if you asleep, you have to make wuzu. Okay? If you asleep, you have to make wuzu. Of course, if you asleep during the class, you have to make ghusl. So be careful not to sleep during class. So, I'm joking. If you asleep, you have to make wuzu. Okay? Someone says, any sleeping or long sleep, if I sleep without noise, with noise, if I sleep and dream, or if I stretch my leg, we say any sleep, because this is mutlaq. Yeah? The speaker wanted to mention this, was maqam al-bayan, and he didn't bring any modifier. So any sleep. But then another person says, okay, is there mafhum for this? That if I don't sleep, I don't need to make wuzu. I say no. Maybe you don't sleep, but there is another cause. This is silent about that. It doesn't say that if you sleep and only if you sleep you have to make wuzu. Yes, if you sleep, any type of sleeping, you have to make wuzu. But there can be alternative reasons for repeating your wuzu. Is it clear?
I think, yeah, it's clear.
So it has itlaq with respect to the parts, conditions and obstacles of this particular jumla shartiyya. But it has no itlaq with respect to saying that there are no alternative causes. Okay, now it's clear? Okay.
An example of here, this text is a bit difficult here.
Yeah, text is difficult. Yes. And this is why, we explain. Because these texts are not for self-teachings. You need teacher. Yeah. وعلى الثاني أي إذا كان بصدد بيان ما هو المؤثر في الجزاء على وجه الإطلاق. But if he was trying to explain whatever is needed for jaza not whatever is needed for shart, whatever is needed for jaza. For example, he was trying to say all the ways, all the reasons for making wuzu. Why wuzu becomes necessary to repeat? If he was trying to say everything and he has only mentioned sleeping, then it means that if you don't sleep, you don't need to make wuzu. Okay? إذا كان بصدد بيان ما هو المؤثر في الجزاء على وجه الإطلاق. If he was trying to explain whatever has a role, whatever bears on jaza على وجه الإطلاق, unconditionally or absolutely, فإذا ذكر سببا واحدا, and then he only mentions one cause and it's silent. So here the silence can be an indicator that there is no other cause that can replace this. فالسكوت يكون دالا على عدم وجود سبب آخر قائم مقامه. Question: سبب آخر, how do you pronounce ra? What is i'rab and what is haraka? You know the difference between i'rab and haraka? Like i'rab, for example, is raf, and haraka is zamma, for example, or wav and nun. دالا على عدم وجود سبب. So آخر is what? Is majroor. Why is majroor? Because it's adjective for sabab. So it's majroor. But we don't say آخرن, آخرة, because غير منصرف. آخر, not آخر. If it is آخر, then you can say آخرن. آخر means end. آخر means other. So آخر is غير منصرف. آخر is منصرف. Okay? Sometimes people make mistake between آخر and آخر. آخر means another or other. آخر means end of something. هو الأول والآخر, not الأول والآخر. هو الأول والآخر. Okay? والحاصل, the conclusion, أنه لو أحرز. أحرز, what does it mean? If it is established, if it is proved. كون المتكلم في مقام تحديد الأسباب. If it is established, if it is proved that the speaker intends to define all the causes, and still مع ذلك, مع ذلك means still, اقتصر على ذكر سبب واحد. Although he intended to say every possible cause, but he has mentioned only one cause. يستكشف أنه ليس له سبب إلا ما جاء في كلامه. From this we can discover that it has only one cause. Is it clear? If his intention was to explain every possible cause and he has only mentioned one, so it means there is no other cause. فيحكم على السبب بأنه علة منحصرة. Here we can say that this cause is exclusive cause. هذا بخلاف ما إذا لم يكن في مقام بيان الأسباب كلها. This is unlike when he is not intending to explain all the causes. He tries to explain one cause properly, but he's not trying to explain all the causes. فإن مقتضى الإطلاق أن ما وقع تحت الشرط تمام الموضوع وليس له جزء آخر غير موجود وأما أنه ليس للجزاء سبب آخر يقوم مقام السبب الأول فلا يدل عليه. Basically the same thing, we are repeating the same thing. It's not a new thing. So, if he was trying to say any cause that can have this effect, then itlaq is there. But if he was trying to explain one cause and whatever that one cause needed, so itlaq is only good for saying that no other conditions or parts are needed for that cause. But you cannot assume that there is no other cause that can replace it. Okay?
It lack only for the one cause.
So you have to establish whether he wants to say every possible cause or he's just trying to explain one cause. Okay? It can be, as I said, something like if you sleep, you have to make wuzu. Here, it doesn't mean that there is no other reasons for making wuzu. Tatbiqat. Let us give you some examples for mafhum al-shart. Tatbiq means applications. Yeah, like applications. إن للقول بدلالة الجملة الشرطية على المفهوم ثمرات. Why I say ثمرات? And what is the i'rab? No, it's mansub. This is ism for inna. Ismu inna mansub. Because jar majroor comes first and s goes to the end of the sentence. Yeah. Inna li sadiqan. Inna li sadiqan means inna sadiqan li, but because it's nakara, jar majroor comes first. Inna lil. These are the things that in mubayasa you have to discuss. In mubayasa, just don't focus on the English. Read, analyze why this is mansub, why this is majroor, why this is marfu. You have to remember these things. إن للقول بدلالة الجملة الشرطية على المفهوم ثمرات فقهية لا تحصى. For the opinion, for the idea that conditional sentence indicates mafhum, it has mafhum, there are fiqhi, jurisprudential outcomes, fruits. La tuhsa, cannot be exhausted. There's many outcomes. Yes.
I've got i'rab here on the book and it says, you said فقهية.
فقهية. No. ثمرات فقهية. فقهية. ثمرات فقهية. ربما يستحضر من خلال الروايات أن القول بالدلالة كان أمرا مسلم بين الإمام والراوي. From some of the cases, it might be argued, yustadhar, you can bring out as an apparent meaning that maybe Imam and the narrator of hadith had this understanding between them, that mafhum al-shart is there. Both Imam and this narrator had this understanding that there is mafhum al-shart. Okay, let us give you a few examples. Raba Abu Basir قال سألت أبا عبد الله عليه السلام عن الشاة تذبح فلا تتحرك ويهراق منها دم كثير عبيق. He asked Imam Sadiq alayhi salam about a person who slaughters a sheep and doesn't move. The animal after slaughtering moves. This doesn't move and lots of blood comes out of it, but doesn't move, doesn't show any action. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, La ta'akul. Don't eat from this animal. Inna aliyan kana yaqul. Imam Sadiq quotes Imam Ali. Imam Ali used to say, إذا ركضت الرجل أو طرفت العين فكل. Either the feet of animal should, like running, move, like rakab, means move fast, or the blinks, eyes, should blink. So there must be some vitality, some activity in the animal. If it is dead or almost dead, it's not accepted. Slaughtering the rights. So, you see, it seems that Imam alayhi salam is arguing from mafhum, and the narrator also knew that mafhum is acceptable, because it says إذا ركضت الرجل أو طرفت العين فكل. Mantuq is not an answer for our question, but there is a mafhum for this, that if rajl do not move and eyes do not blink, okay, opposite to the shat. If shat is not there, then the permissibility for eating would be removed. Is it clear?
Is this an example of itlaq? Is this an example of itlaq, the bahs of itlaq that we're doing?
You can say itlaq, or you can say insaraf, you can say vaz. People may argue in different ways, but they have to believe in one of these three reasons for saying that it shows exclusiveness. Tara, you see, أن الإمام عليه السلام يستدل على الحكم الذي أفتى به بقوله لا تأكل بكلام علي عليه السلام. Imam عليه السلام first expressed his opinion, do not eat. But how did he argue for that? He argued from the hadith of Amir al-Mu'mineen, but based on mafhum. لا يكون دليلا عليه إلا إذا كان له مفهوم. This hadith of Imam Ali could not be an argument for what Imam Sadiq said unless if that hadith of Imam Ali has mafhum. And the mafhum is this, that إذا لم تركض الرجل ولم تطرف العين, if the legs do not, the feet do not move and the eyes do not blink, فلا تأكل, don't eat. This is the first example. The second example is what Halabi narrates from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. كان أمير المؤمنين يضمن القصار والسائق احتياطا للناس وكان أبي يتطول عليه إذا كان مأمونا. This is about some occupations, that if in some occupations they give less to the customer, to the client, they would be Zamen, they would be responsible. And if Imam alayhi salam had permission, he used to do extra to make sure that the client's right is observed. For example, even in normal selling, if you are going to sell 1 kilogram, you have to make sure that you don't give less than 1 kilogram. And if you have permission, give more. Give more so that you are sure that you have not given less. But you cannot give more from someone else's money. If you work in an office and you don't have permission, you cannot give $100 gram extra to the customer, because then you will owe to the owner of the shop. If it is your shop, you can give extra. If it is not your own shop and you don't have permission, then you have to be very careful not to give more, not to give less. It's very difficult. Anyway, when he says he used to give extra when he was ma'moon, when he was, for example, I don't know, permitted, or he was like trusted, it means that otherwise he was not giving extra. There's mafhum for this. Another hadith is Ali ibn Ja'far in his collection, which is known as Masail Ali ibn Ja'far, Masail by Ali ibn Ja'far. He says he asked his brother. Who is his brother? Musa ibn Ja'far. This Ali ibn Ja'far is buried in Qom. You know, Ali ibn Ja'far, we have a graveyard where martyrs are also buried. We say Gulzar Shuhadai Ali ibn Ja'far in Qom, Char Mardan. There is a place for him. He says that he asked his brother an haml al-muslimin ila al-mushrikin at-tijara. What is the ruling when Muslims carry goods or do trade for mushrikeen? Okay? They carry for them. According to this hadith, Imam alayhi salam replied, إِذَا لَمْ يَحْمِلُوا سِلَاحًا فَلَا بَأْسَ. If they don't carry weapons, it's okay. If you carry food, medicine, dress, furniture, but not weapons, because with these weapons they may kill innocent people. So don't carry weapons for them. دلت الرواية على القول بالمفهوم على حرمة حمل المسلمين إلى المشركين التجارة إذا كان المحمول سلاحا من دون فرق بين زمان الحرب والهدنة. When says if they don't carry weapon, there is no problem. Is if they carry, there is problem, and it's unconditional, it's absolute. Doesn't say if they don't carry, there is no problem. If they carry in the time of war, is problem. If they carry, is problem, whether it's war or ceasefire. Hodna means ceasefire.
At any time.
Pardon?
At any time.
Anytime. Another hadith is Muawiyah ibn Ammar from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. إِذَا كَانَ الْمَاءُ قَدْرَ كُرٍّ. We had it before. لَمْ يُنَجِّسْهُ شَيْءٍ. If water reaches the level of kur, nothing will make it najis, of course by touching. If the smell or color or taste changes, that's different. So this means that if it doesn't reach kur, then it might be najis. There's mafhum. Abdullah ibn Ja'far from Abi Muhammad. From Abi Muhammad, it can be a title for different imams. Abi Muhammad. يجوز للرجل أن يصلي ومعه فأرة مسك فكتب لا بأس به إذا كان ذكيا. We say in Farsi moshk. In Arabic we say mesk, khitamuhu mesk. In Farsi we say moshk. What do you say in Urdu? Smell. No, it's a special type. Moshk. There is moshk, there is abir. There are moshk, which is in Farsi, in Arabic mesk, is taken from the stomach, belly of deer. Moshk, yeah. So from the belly of the deer. Now the question is, if someone has this with him while he is praying, and this deer, for example, maybe was not slaughtered properly. Is it like carrying mita? Because if you carry a part of an animal which is mita, like either it is an animal which is not Islamically properly slaughtered, or for example it's haram. Your salat is void if you carry mita. Yeah? Like for example you have haram leather with you as a dress or carry. So the question is, يجوز للرجل أن يصلي. He says he can pray. Imam al-Saf says, even if he has this with him, Imam said, no problem if the deer is slaughtered.
If it's slaughtered, he can pray with it.
It's okay.
So if he does it,
So mafhum means what? Then if it has mafhum means, then you cannot pray if it's not slaughtered. If we accept mafhum. La ba'sa means there is no problem. It means it's possible. It's permissible. لو قلنا بالمفهوم. If we accept mafhum, it indicates that it's a problem if there is no proper slaughtering. Okay. There are other examples, applications we can study quickly, inshallah, next session. And there are also something about تداخل الأسباب والمسببات. So, inshallah, we will finish this, inshallah, Monday. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin. You're welcome. Ahsan.